Beyonce has haters. If
A
that
lot.
does not tell you everything you need to know, Beyonce has haters. As amazing as she is, you cannot convince a Beyonce hater that she's amazing. You can give them all of the performances, you can show them her stats, and they're gonna still be like, "I don't like that heifer."
Heifer is crazy. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you again for joining me in the Freedom Collective podcast. The hope is that we continue to heal and grow together. Today, I have a very special guest, like a very, very, very special guest. I'm so blown away that I'm joined by the iconic and legendary Jamila, aka Taraji P.
Period. Hey.
Hey, Jamila. I'm good. Can you
Yeah.
introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Jamila Bell. I am a social media influencer. I've been making content for almost 14 years now. Just now, really becoming full time. Also have a podcast with Machiavelli on TikTok called Unhinged and Immoral. And I do all things comedy, skits, social, political, pop culture commentary. And yeah, that's
And also a doula. Like, you gotta let the
yes, I'm
people know
also a
about your
labor
services.
doula. Yes.
I'm always so like every time I hear or am reminded that you're a doula, I'm just like, I stand. Like,
Yeah. It's honestly one of those things that is like one of the things that I'm probably most proud of because I feel like I'm able to really affect my community in the way that I'm able to, if that makes sense. Cause I feel like when it comes to community work, you gotta attack it in the way that you know how to. Like, don't be doing nothing you don't know how to do, baby. Just stick to what you know. And then if everybody does that, then everybody is touched.
mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a like, we're gonna touch on that probably a little bit later.
Okay, period.
And I just, yeah, I'm blown away by your work. And I think Jamila is one of the funniest people on the planet. Like, I
Thank you.
saw your tribute to Angie Stone.
Listen, because they needed to get me on that stage, like, "Hello?"
And you got some vocal ability too. I'm like, oh my God. I
You
said,
know, I used to sing in a past life. I've lived many lives, I really have.
matter of fact, now that I got you here, your Beyonce birthday thing where you made all your friends recreate the Beyonce video, I was screaming. Something was
Yeah.
child.
I just feel like, I wanna do everything I wanna do. I don't know how else to explain it. I just always have these thoughts like, "What if I just did this?" And I just be wanna do it, like, live, laugh, love.
Okay, so let's just get started with I
Mhm.
have 5 segments, and the first segment is called intake. It is a question that like is more on the lighter side before we get into the journey, which is where you'll tell your mental health story. I ask you a few questions. So intake is more of a broad and general question. And today's intake question is going to be, what do you do to unwind after a stressful day?
This is something I probably need to refine and work on because I don't know how to really unwind because my mind I have ADHD. My mind is always moving, it's always active, it's always very loud in my head. And so sometimes the only thing I can do to unwind is like go to sleep. But funny enough, even when I sleep, my mind is very, very active. So I don't really experience nothingness in my mind. So I've tried to meditate. It's very difficult for me to like shut my mind off. So what I do is honestly just watch something on TV that I like, eat, and kind of just not speak. That's as quiet as I can get because I talk all day long, whether that's on the phone, on that damn TikTok, something. I'm always talking, all these meetings and stuff. So when I can get a chance to shut the hell up, I just relish in it. Like,
Yeah. I think that's also important to have just like right brain activity, like
mhm,
mindless stuff in order to
mhm,
like check out. It's important to not do that in terms of avoidance, but I'm like
yeah,
pretty similar to you because, I too be talking all day on a TikTok and I be yapping on the phone or talking to clients. So
yeah,
I'm a yapper. So typically when I'm unwinding for a stressful day, and people ask me this all the time, they're like, how do you like even manage being a therapist? What do you do to take care of yourself? The answer is when I have like a long day and I need to unwind, I feel overstimulated. I will literally turn off all my lights and
Mm,
just sit in the dark. Like, I don't want no stimulation because my
yeah.
mind has been going a million miles a minute the whole day.
Mhm.
So I just basically try to turn it off, and that's how I do it. But I don't.
Yeah.
It's important not to do it in a in too much. Like
Mhm.
you can't do too much with it because you don't want to wind up like becoming isolated or avoidant. I
Yeah.
just do it because I'll be like, okay, my brain needs to recharge. I like go into my own little chamber and come out when I'm ready. So the next segment is the meat and potatoes.
Mm.
This is segment two, the journey, and this is when I want to learn a little bit more about your story, who you are around your mental health. And I have a couple of questions and I want you to talk, share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. But my first question for you is what is something that you think people often misunderstand about you in regards to your mental health?
The biggest misconception is honestly how I show up in real life because I'm very ridiculous online and I am a character. Even with my friends, I'm very like, I'm on. I think that people always think I'm lying when I say I'm very shy and I have extreme social anxiety. Like I am so serious. I deal with very extreme social anxiety and it has been crippling at times like maneuvering through the world because I'm so aware of everything that happens around me. It causes my social anxiety to go up. I remember there have been times where I have like completely just like I will just leave a space if I don't feel comfortable and the thing is, like, I always feel like I just need somebody there with me, like, just somebody that I know. I'm always looking for a familiar face. Like, I dread going places where I don't know anybody. It brings me so much anguish. And I literally sometimes it'll make me want to cry because I'm just like, please. Like, I really just feel like I always need like a support partner there. And I think that is probably the biggest misconception because people think that because I'm very lively that I am a people person and I'm really not. And I wish I was being around other people and just feeling so free to talk to everybody. I'm like, dang, I wish I could be like that because I know I should be like that. And that'll probably help my career. Like I could have probably been so many places if I was like that. But there have been opportunities in front of me where I was just like, I don't want to, I physically cannot walk over there and speak to somebody. But it's something that I've been forcing myself to do better at and try to break out of that shell. And it physically hurts. But yeah.
Mm. How do you balance that with being so public facing? Because you are like, like you said, like you're an entertainer,
Mhm.
basically. And it's so interesting. And I've met you in real life a couple times.
Yeah.
We were just at a conference not too long
Mhm.
ago in DC where there was a lot of social interactions. It's so interesting because you appear so confident in every space you enter. How do you balance being so like public facing and also experiencing this anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, y'all were there, so, like, it changed everything for me because I was so terrified to go. I was going by myself, and they didn't send us, like, a RSVP link of who I was going,
Right.
and I didn't see nobody even talking about it online, like, "Who's going to the Trending Up conference?" I'm like, "Damn, where the fuck am I gonna go? Like, is this even real? Like, are there gonna be people I know?" I was so scared, like, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, I just am so uncomfortable, like, what if it's nobody I know? Like, I'm gonna fade to the background, I'm just, but as soon as I get to the hotel, I see you were there, I was like, "Oh, thank God, at least I know somebody." At least just even if just having that one person, but I don't wanna be the leech, and sometimes I'll, like and I've done that in the past, where I was like, I will bitch, I damn near will cuff myself to my buddy, like, "You should leave me, don't leave me, like, what do you like, what am I gonna do without you?" Like, so that helped, but then also just seeing familiar faces, even people that I didn't necessarily meet before, but I was at least familiar with their content, that even kind of helped me, like, it's something about not being familiar with anything, that is the thing, but it's definitely difficult to navigate, and I'm actively trying to work through it. Of course, having people come up to me in public is still very weird to me. It's cool, I enjoy it because 'cause they're familiar with me. It's a weird thing, and I don't know, this might be the Gemini piece of me. I do enjoy attention, however, I don't know how to navigate the attention. It's very strange, I don't know.
It's hilarious. I think what people don't often acknowledge is that humanity in and of itself is like hyper contradictive. and we have,
Mhm.
like, so many pieces of ourselves that combat and conflict with one another, and a lot of people
Yes.
don't know how to hold space for it, but once you really learn how to hold space for the parts of you that conflict, like,
Mhm.
it becomes you realize how silly being a human being
Just silly.
is. It's so
Just silly. I'm like, "Don't nothing make sense."
listen, because 'cause I'm like, you put yourself out there to millions, like, millions of people are aware of your
Yeah.
existence.
And it's crazy because I be whenever I'm, like, in a group of people, you know how, like, you'll see people like, "Oh my gosh, they look so cool to talk to. I wish I could talk to them." I just be like, "I hope they come up to me and talk to me." Like, how dare I say that? Like, girl, go speak, but that's just how my brain works. Like, if you come and talk to me, I'll totally be nice. Like, I be wanting to say, like, "I'll totally be nice if you guys come and speak to me." I'm not going up to you, though. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I just the anxiety is crippling, like, "Oh my god."
What's so interesting though, again, is like we so many people think like this. Like this is not an uncommon like frame of thought. And so many of us would do so much better if we got out of this frame of thinking that we're the only ones who are interested in connecting. I think everybody's so interested in connecting. But I am so curious about again, you put yourself out there. You're very vulnerable, like on the internet. Like it is a
Yeah.
vulnerable process. I know that for a fact, there are so many people who want to become content creators, who want to put themselves out there, and they can't even get past the hurdle of the anxiety, the social anxiety, where they're going to be perceived by others. How do
Yeah.
you think you break down that barrier?
I think honestly, because I started so young, that has helped because I've it's been a long time of me receiving comments, if that makes sense. So I'm kinda used to that, and I'm used to kind of just disengaging from the comments, specifically because we started out on YouTube and, when me and my brother were doing skits on YouTube, YouTube is not the same type of app in the way that you stay on the app and engage with the comments in the same way that you would engage on TikTok. So we would literally post our skit and close that damn computer and like move on. We weren't engaging with the comments until we would like randomly check and be like, oh my gosh, it has this many things. Let's read the comments. And it would be like, and also, this is maybe just an upbringing thing. I'm just not a serious person. I'm not, like, genuinely speaking, like, it takes a lot to upset me, but it also takes a lot to get through to me, like, if you read me and it's funny, I'll laugh. Like, that's how my brain works. Like, you ate that one little thing, I've got to laugh. Like, I just don't internalize a lot of things in that way because I'm just super unserious in real life. So when I'm reading comments of people perceiving me, unless you're perceiving me absolutely correct and you really are digging at something that's maybe an insecurity of mine, I don't take it personally. But y'all won't know my insecurities because I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna give y'all anything to really come for me about. I don't put things on the internet that I wouldn't want scrutinized. So I don't really allow myself to even open up in that way. I don't share my personal life on social media really at all. So
Boundaries. Okay, so boundaries. Just the boundaries.
mhm, mhm.
We love a good B word. My favorite B word
Hello.
is boundaries. Okay, because 'cause I'm not gonna hold you. How messy we gonna be today?
We could be as messy as you wanna get.
There was a point where a person on the internet, like, I don't even know their name to be honest,
Mhm.
but a person on the internet was, like, on a tirade against Jamila. Like,
Yeah.
I was
You could
witnessing
be
this
talking about
tirade.
anybody, to be honest. It's been a couple of
Right. Oh my god. Like, I
but
saw one
yes.
video recently, and we're gonna get into just, like, how you balance, like, having so many people be critical of you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw one person recently be like, "You're the last person to talk about anything because you're like," they say, "You talk about me behind my back," and I'm sure you
Yeah.
won't even know who that person
I
is.
didn't. That was funny to me. And that's kinda how like I said, I don't take things seriously. Like, imagine me watching you talk about me and I don't know you. Like,
This
I
is wild.
it doesn't strike me. It's just like, "Oh, that was weird."
I wanted to bring up the one incident though, where the
Mhm.
girl was saying like, "We're both preacher's kids," and you were like, "I'm not a preacher's kid. My father is not nobody's preacher."
You know what I'm saying? And that alone, I can't take anything you say seriously because why would you ever think that I was a PK?
Doesn't make
My
sense.
dad smokes weed and plays the guitar and has been in rock bands and has been my first introduction to kind of deconstructing Christianity. Why would I ever claim to be a preacher's child?
Uh,
That's crazy. And I don't know where you got that from. So it's like if you got that wrong, why would I take anything else you say about me seriously? Why would anybody?
well, it's sounding like, you understand when to react or respond. And I know you've also grown in that
I was
regards
gonna say, I'm also
more.
learning because I love a good clapback. I used to be real listen, I'm in real life, I don't shut up. So it's like we can go, we can go. We can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth because I'm gonna always have a rebuttal and I'm gonna always have another point. But I realize that that doesn't always translate in the way that you want on social media. Even if you're just like, I'm trying to provide clarity, it doesn't read that way. And people are going to misconstrue you, take what you say out of context, flip it and remix it. And I've seen it happen live time. I've seen people take what I said, completely remix it and repackage it. And then people take that, for face value. So it's like, how about I just don't? How about that?
How do you think the scrutiny, the constant, I'm going to say constant scrutiny from other people, even strangers,
Yeah.
impacts you mentally?
Having friends in real life, having family in real life, and having things to do in real life is a good reality check because I'm not gonna lie and say that I never got caught up in all of the random scrutiny that started to happen. Because I think for a long time, for the 14 years I had been on social media, I had been seen as a comedy creator. And when you're in that space, you don't really face a lot of scrutiny because it's like, that I'm here to make y'all laugh. So me being on the chopping block in that way was super new for me. And it kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, why am I all of a sudden being perceived as this quote unquote mean girl, this person with all of these things? And it's like, am I missing something? What the hell happened? So I think that I had to have a reality check with myself like, okay, I understand that in this moment, people are saying these things about you, but do you know who you are or don't you? Do the people know who you are around you or don't they? And once I realized that that was so isolated and so it was just this small thing that's happening on the internet, which and the internet is this, it's like, okay, it's not really a thing. Cause even now, and I said this to somebody else, I did this and I don't know how healthy it is, but it's just something about me I needed to know. I went in it on an incognito TikTok account and I searched my name because I wanted to know what comes up when people search my name. And honestly, none of that was popping up. It was me and the silly stuff that I do and the comments and my silly skits. I said, oh,
I'm gonna quote one of my content creator friends. When you go to that top of the page on TikTok and you click that little drop down menu that says popular and it sorts your videos from popular to least popular,
mm-hmm.
if the top of your account, all you see is videos of you talking about other people, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's good. I'm happy that you're able to like ground yourself with the people who you know in real life. And, it's important to stay connected to your roots. But on that note, I'm curious. I want you to take us back a little bit, right? Who is Jamila? When do you think you first became aware of your mental health? Like, what is the earliest age you remember being conscious of how you felt, what you thought, how it impacted your actions, your behaviors? Tell us more.
Definitely around middle school, there was a lot of personal stuff happening with my family dynamic. Um, and of course, I didn't have the language necessarily to call out what was happening. I just knew something was wrong. I knew that the way I feel is not good. This is not the way I used to feel. Like I'm feeling consistently horrible, and I don't like that. And there was definitely a lot of just really negative thoughts that I dealt with in middle school transitioning to high school. I don't think I've ever shared this online before just because it never came up, but I have had a suicide attempt before. It was when I think I was in seventh or eighth grade, I believe. And it didn't thankfully I was really stupid because I didn't really know how. And if I'm being honest, I think also a part of it was to get more attention. And I don't say that to say that people who attempt are attention seekers. Just to be
Yeah.
clear, I know where I was at with it. But I also don't think that attention seeking is necessarily bad in that regard as well. Cause I think sometimes it's like, hey, see me. Like I'm going through this. And so I feel for people who go through that because I've been there before. And so I ended up just getting really sick because I had popped a whole bunch of pills. I had and just ended up getting really sick. So it didn't even go. I was like, well, fuck. And I was like, actually, don't want to do that. Okay. I dragged it a bit.
I'm really happy you're bad at killing yourself.
Yeah, thank God I am an idiot in that regard. And I think that it kind of brought me back to reality too. Like it was a reality check in that moment. And I definitely dealt with a lot of stuff in high school as well, with still family stuff, but also then school stuff. So I dealt with a friend at the time who was very toxic to the point where it really messed with my self esteem. And it wasn't something that I really realized until later when I was in college that that friend had really done some damage to me. And it was a lot. Like I dealt with a lot of self esteem issues in high school. I felt like I was just the odd person out. It was interesting because the conversation of like popularity always is confusing to me because it's like I was very known in school. It wasn't a huge high school. I was very known, but I'd never considered myself popular because I feel like popularity comes with like likability. And I don't think I was very likable to other people. And so I had friends, I had my core friends, but to the general public, I was seen as someone who did too much. And so that I internalized that as well. So it's like with my own personality, but also like, and it's funny because I was joking about this on Kim on Stage podcast recently. I was like, I was the kid that was too woke in high school. I've always been, I was the kid. I was a friend that was too woke. And it did not go well because you have to think I was in high school from what 2009 to 2014. It was not popular to be socially aware. It just was not. And so I was the kid that was calling things out. And because I was doing that, it made everybody uncomfortable. It just did.
I'm being legit.
So, you know what I'm saying? And because of that, people felt like they didn't wanna be around me. They didn't wanna say stuff around around me. It was I dealt with a little bit of bullying. And then also that was when I started doing YouTube videos. Again, it was an awkward time for me because on one end, I had a good time with my friends and I would still be myself. I didn't give a damn. But on the other end, it was like, I just feel so trapped. Like I just felt so trapped. Like I could not just feel free because everything it seemed like everything I did was an issue or it wasn't cool. It wasn't celebrated. So it was just a weird time.
Well, one, thank you for sharing all of that. It is not easy to
Yeah.
be vulnerable about things like attempts because
Yeah.
a lot of people go through that in isolation. I do want to just even jump back a little bit to attention seeking, right?
Mhm.
When somebody attempts and they're unsuccessful, if somebody is being quote unquote too much about the suicidal ideation, if you feel like they're likely reaching out because they don't
Mhm.
want to do it. Like
Yeah.
it is so important to acknowledge that people don't want to die. It's
Right.
against human nature to want that. If somebody is in a space where they feel like they don't want to be alive anymore, there is something going wrong in life and they are probably reaching out for support. And I'm hoping that you got the support that you needed after that. And it's so funny how people can misconstrue and see somebody and assume so much. Like again, back to the girl who assumed you were a preacher's kid. Like people
Mhm.
assume so much, but you
Mhm.
have so many layers to you. And I thank you for sharing some of them today.
Of course.
So curious though, back on your roots. Like that's really important to you, obviously. What would you say to that version of yourself at young Jamila in middle school who's going through all of that? What is something that you would say to her and some advice that other people might need to hear?
I would definitely say, like, you can't control the way you're perceived, even if you try. So don't try. You're going to be perceived in whatever way because everyone has their own experience and lens. So it's like, it just is what it is. You do the same thing. Like, you're perceiving people consistently, and you're probably wrong about all of the perceptions you have of people. So if you know that you can be, you can perceive people, you have to realize that you're going to be perceived does not have to affect the way you maneuver through the world. And also to continuously invest in yourself and how you want to present and how you want to show up and what makes you happy doesn't have to make other people happy and it doesn't have to impress other people. I think that when I was younger, I got stuck in a loop of wanting people to be impressed with the things that were cool to me, and I didn't realize until way later in life that it's like, shit is gonna be cool for who it's cool for. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I always felt like I said, I always felt like a little off because we can laugh and joke about it now because I literally don't care now. But everybody knows I'm Michael Jackson's biggest fan. But funny enough, when I was in middle school and high school, being excited about being Michael Jackson's number one fan, it wasn't the cool thing to say. Like, girl, we're listening to Nicki Minaj right now. You know what I'm saying? People were listening to whatever was popular music and just things like that. I just never felt like, dang, that why does nobody relate? And it's funny because my two girl best friends, that is something that we related to most of all. And first and foremost was like specifically music taste, which sounds so like minuscule, but it was huge because like, no, I didn't have nobody to understand. Like my best friend Sydney Me, she's Michael Jackson's number 2 fan, but we both connected on that. And then my other best friend, she grew up listening to a lot of old music and stuff like that. So it's like, damn, finally I don't feel like just the old lame ass bitch in school. Like y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? We like to do this. Just liking the things that I like. So like with YouTube, it wasn't cool at the time. So it was like I felt like I needed to kind of explain and convince people that it was. And it's like, no, you can just like the things that you like. And people are going to do the same thing and you'll align with who you need to align with, but you don't have to align with everybody. Like everybody don't have to like you
Yeah. Wow.
because you don't like everybody.
Yeah. I think it's so hard for some people to accept that. It's hard for me to accept that sometimes. Like, I think
Mhm.
both of us are people who have experienced and are familiar with having a lot of eyes on you and a lot of those eyes being judgmental eyes. And I think it's really important to acknowledge how difficult it is to come to that place where you recognize that everybody's not going to like you and that's okay. What advice would you have for somebody struggling with that?
With having a lot of eyes on them.
No, with like accepting that everybody's not going to like them.
I think it's just perspective because like I said, think about all the people that you hate. Think about all the people that you don't like and think about all the people that you don't like for no good reason. Cause it's like that.
We all got a
It's
couple.
like that. We got a couple of people we don't like for no good damn reason. I can't tell you. I just don't. Right. Think about all the TV shows that we watch and we was like, that shit sucked. And it's gold for somebody else. Like there's so much, like as humans, we're so complex. So it's like you literally cannot satisfy everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like Beyonce has haters. If
A
that
lot.
does not tell you everything you need to know, Beyonce has haters. As amazing as she is, you cannot convince a Beyonce hater that she's amazing. You can give them all of the performances, you can show them her stats, and they're gonna still be like, I don't like that heifer.
Heifer is crazy. You bring up something like that I think is really important too, like within your story, the mentioning of Beyonce, because Beyonce has this too, but it's like protective factors. Like when you have a lot of risk factors, right? Like for people who have gone through things like, I don't know, are you familiar with the adverse childhood experience like scale?
Mm-mm, I don't think so.
So it's called the A scale, and it's like basically a measure of how many traumatic things people endure in childhood. Some things on there include like physical abuse, sexual abuse, uh, neglect, emotional neglect, physical neglect, having parents who experience intimate partner violence and things like that. It's like the scale is a lot of stuff on the scale, but like traditionally there are 10 things. And people who score higher on the A scale have a lot more risk factors. But some people, and this is the thing, right? When it comes to siblings, it's so funny, siblings are also important to you. People will wonder how some siblings who experience the same household, who have the same parents, can come out vastly different. And the reality is that people have different protective factors. They have things that like kind of anchor them, even though they go through difficult things, right? I think of people who have support at school. Like if you come from a turbulent household, but you can go to school and you can feel seen and connected and heard, you might have a higher probability of being able to navigate those circumstances on your own as opposed to somebody who doesn't.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think of how Beyoncé even, right? Even though she was kind of, like, catapulted into stardom at such a young age, she always had the protective factor of her family. She had a
Yeah.
family who was always, like, fiercely looking out for her and, making sure she didn't wind up in situations where she was being exploited. I just heard, the story about how Mama Tina she was on a photo shoot, and
Mhm.
they would try to put her hair in a bun,
Yeah.
and she had an afro at the time. She said, you were wearing
Mhm.
an afro."
Yeah.
And it was just like having people who could protect you like that, having protective factors like, a connection to community or resources, whatever it is, right? Protective factors are so important. What do you say? Because I have my own stance, but what do you say to people who maybe don't have as high of a level of community, who may not have as many protective factors?
That's difficult. I'm not sure because I think that, like, community is super, super important, and I try to, like, emphasize that any chance that I get, whether that be biological or chosen family, like, that's important. Friends are just as important. I don't think people realize how important friends are or realize how safe friendship can be and saving as well. Like, I think people think friends are just for having fun. I see that a lot with the conversations online about, like, my friend expected me to do this and that. I'm like, okay. Friendships are, my friendships, I'll speak on my friend. My friendships are very, like, deep rooted. And I know that we'll be friends forever. Like, my three best friends that I have, we've been friends for 15 years, and we've gone through ups and downs, but never anything that has been like, "Oh, okay, that's weird." You know what I'm saying? Like, just real, real shit. And we've experienced family deaths, you know what I'm saying? And being able to navigate that with them has been, you know, appreciative. Because there's also conversations and situations that you can lean on for your friends, but not necessarily your family, which is interesting because it's like you would think it's the other way around, but it's not because there's a different level of anchoredness with friends because those are people you choose to have in your life.
Right.
So it's like your commonalities with your friends a lot of times line up even more than what would be like your family because it's like y'all just family.
Mm,
Ain't no telling who you was gonna grow to be, you know? So I definitely think like try and find at least a friend, please get a
that's
friend. But beyond that, like I don't
Yeah. No, I think our answers are actually the same, and it's like find your community.
yeah.
It's so easy. I know people get so tired of me saying I'm a community centered clinician, like for a reason, like, but I say it with
Yeah.
purpose. Like you have to find your community. You need people to support you. It saves you a lot of strife when you have people you can lean on when things get hard, right? People underestimate it, and I think our answers are really the same. I am the first in my family to go to college, for example, but what people don't know is that a lot of the reason why that's the case is because I had so many people, like, when I stepped into my schoolhouse, like, really pushing me. Like, I had
Mhm.
people uplifting me, I had
Mhm.
mentors, I had friends. I had like community members. I had so many people like encouraging me and reminding me that I was capable. I even had family doing the same thing, some family. And it was just like important because I found my community by chance. I'll say that. The people who even helped me really know that I can go to college, like I've met them because I was standing on a bus stop, child. And I think for some people, they just don't know how to go about finding and searching for that community. And to that, I say, use your network. A lot of people don't know that they have like so many potential friendships just surrounding them at all times. They just don't really tap into or lean on them because there's a certain barrier, like where you think that you can't. Friendships also require work. Because I noticed that you have, like, so many close connections. Oh my god, don't get me started on the Super 5. If you don't know what that is, it's just it's a made up villain super group, apparently.
Heavy on made up.
Jamila, Mecca, and they even accused me of being in it. I was like,
They
"I
do
couldn't even."
add members and take them away as they see fit.
Yeah. But it's
You could be a part of the Super 5 at any
you,
moment. Stay vigilant.
yeah, you listening here, you are a member of the Super 5. Welcome.
Yes.
But like people notice that you have so many close connections around you, which is part of why I think you get like the mean girl allegations. And I have my God, don't get me started on that. I think a lot of people on the internet see people who have close connections or friendships and they assume immediately, oh, this is a clique. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this is called friends. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think
have
you deserve
friends.
it too.
You too can have.
Hello. But yeah, people, I notice the close connections you have in your life. I think those are really valuable. But I think a lot of people think that those just come out of nowhere, or
Mm,
a lot of people think that you don't have to nurture and develop and grow these friendships and put energy and effort into it. There's this concept I talk about a lot called fall out the sky syndrome, where people, and I talk about this ad nauseum. If you really, really follow me, you know that I talk about this. People think that it's so hard for them to connect to certain things because for other people it fell out the sky and for them it's not falling out the sky. And I'm always quick to remind somebody like,
yeah.
no, like you don't know how much effort needs
Yeah,
to be put.
whatever you see, there's so much behind it.
Exactly. And for some
Yeah.
people it is easier. Like some people are fortunately in situations that just happen to align with those things. But I promise everybody is doing a degree of work to maintain connection. So to that
Yeah.
I say it's not going to fall out the sky.
It's not. And even though I have and this is the caveat. So even though I have extreme social anxiety, I enjoy being social. I really, really enjoy it. And I the concept of I want to keep my circle tight. I only believe in having two friends. That's it.
Yeah.
That is the complete opposite of what I think and believe. Yes, I have my three best friends, right? Them is my road dogs. They're at this point, they're like family, right? But I have a very large network. I'm very, very social. Like, I enjoy knowing people, and I don't think that that's weird, and I don't think that we should shy away from doing that. I really value having relationships with people and trying to value those relationships and keeping those relationships open, even if it doesn't become like, "Oh, you're gonna be my next best friend." Like, I don't think you have to have a ultimatum or like a end point or a goal. I think it's just like, I think that you're cool. Like, that's cool. Like let's continue. And I try to encourage myself to maintain relationships. I used to have this thought that I value people more than they remember, if that makes sense. Like, for example, I will remember a conversation I had with a person that, like, if I meet somebody in line, I'll be like, "Wow, I just had a really cool conversation with them. Oh my gosh, like, that was so nice. Like, wow, they were so nice." And then, like, a week later, if I see them, right, I be thinking to myself, "What if they don't even remember talking to me?" Like, I think of that all the time, and I be like, "Should I even, like, speak? Like, what if they don't?" You know what I'm saying? But once I started being more open to the follow-up,
Mm.
I realized that you are just as significant to them as they were to you. You know what I'm saying? Or little. And like you just have to like reach out. And so what I've been trying to do more recently is, and I've tried to be very intentional about this. And I haven't done it every single time, but I'm trying to do it as much as I can. Even just social media speaking, whenever I become mutuals with somebody, I try to send them a message like, "Hey, like I really enjoy your content. Like, oh my gosh, so glad we connected." Like, just even that, like, that simple little reach out and just, like, because that means a lot to me, and I don't be knowing how what that means for somebody else. Because for somebody else, it could be like, "Bitch, I just followed you, not too much." Don't ever think it was that, and it's cool, but I just want you to know that, like, you following me and I enjoy your content is super, super freaking dope, and I really enjoy that, and I really like that. Like, I want to be authentically myself. Like, I made that promise to myself a couple years ago, like, "Stop trying to be cool. You not the cool you that ain't you. You're not the cool bitch, and that's cool. Be yourself." Like, you're excited. I get excited about things, and I don't wanna dull that down for nobody, and so it's like, for the people that don't work for, it's cool, but I'm gonna show up myself, and whoever gonna take it is gonna take, but I get excited about things, and I'm not ashamed about it.
I do also want to like even just like note that there are going to be opportunities or there are going to be shots that you take for friendship and it's just not going to work. I hear very frequently how people will be like, I did reach out. I did the thing. I tried to connect
Yeah.
and it fell flat. They didn't return the energy. And to that, I also just want to know every door is not going to open for you. And that's cool. Some
Yeah.
people, because I was like, look, I'll let this be clear because I have people who I love dearly, cherish dearly. Thankfully, I have a lot of patient friends, but like I work full time as a content creator and full time as a therapist. Just started a practice, on
Mhm.
2 podcasts, got family out the woo-ha. I got bills to pay. I got a cat that needs to be fed. I have a child.
I
Okay,
have a child. I am a
child.
mother, please.
I'm a mother, so I am like busy a lot. And I know
Yeah.
like that's not an excuse. I try to make time for my loved ones and I try to balance it as best as possible. Sometimes people just aren't going to be able to connect on your terms. And that is not a reflection of you. It's
Yeah.
sometimes just like not meant to happen, or you can just, but that doesn't mean you should stop yourself from going and trying and exploring new avenues. I also think you brought up something that is really funny. And that's that notion of like no new friends, hashtag only
Right.
me, myself, and I, me
Okay.
and my brother. Like that notion is so tired. You are killing yourself.
Okay, girl. Period. You better be alone.
How's that going for you? That'd
Like,
be my
that
main
sounds
question.
so miserable. It sounds sad. It sounds lonely. It sounds dark.
Yeah,
I don't know what this dark movement is, but enough. Like, I'm a loner. I've always been a loner. Like, you shouldn't be.
yeah. You deserve to be surrounded by
You
love.
deserve to be surrounded by people that love you and want the best for you. Like,
And
yikes.
sometimes those people aren't in your immediate environment and you can go searching for them elsewhere. So they're not going to fall out the sky. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good, oh my God. Like, yeah, I really do hate the notion of like hashtag no new friends. It's like you
I hate
are,
it. I hate it
yeah.
bad.
And I think that's rooted in like such a deep trauma too, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people
Yeah, for sure. That
don't
definitely
rec-
comes out of disappointment and being let down.
Mm,
I think the same with people who's like, "I'm just a loner, but you don't mean that. I think that is just a defense mechanism, and you're trying to protect yourself, and I get it, and I feel bad for you, but let that go, baby. Let that go."
that's a hard truth. That's a hard truth. You just that one out real straight. It is a
Call it
defense
like I see it.
mechanism.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
sad.
Oof. A lot of people aren't gonna want to hear that one. Yeah.
Oh, well, but
Yeah, but I do think when you feel like the need to isolate yourself, it makes sense sometimes. To quote the very legendary Jennifer Lewis, who I love and cherish dearly. That's my
mhm.
mama in my head.
Love her.
She said, "It's okay if you go in them dark rooms. Don't you be in that dark room for too long, okay? You can be mad, but don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself too bad. Like, like
Mhm.
it's okay to need periods, but if
Yeah,
you feel like your life has become this big thing of isolation, you might need to reassess what
immediately.
it is that you're doing."
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is okay. Hey, Jamil, let me find out. Okay.
Mm.
Because before we go on to our next couple segments, do you have any final message for the people? Do you have anything you think people need to hear? Any advice? Any of it?
I would just say try to do the things that you want to do. Like, there there's situations where you wanna do something, but, like, you just have these thoughts like, I don't know if that'll work," or "I don't know if this person will do." Just do it, like, just do the stuff that you wanna do. I try not to, like, be full of regrets or I shouldas because I've been there, done that, and it don't get you nowhere. Like, you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't just do stuff. And that could be big or small. Like, it could be you thought about eating the ice cream, but you ain't wanna feel bad about your girl, eat that little ice cream, you be alright. Like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves for everything, our image, our likeness, our jobs, everything. And it's like, you will be okay if you like just do stuff like, and it's okay to also make naughty mistakes. Like, you wanted to sleep with that man and it's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be slut shaming ourselves, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I slept with him after knowing him for 3 days. Girl, you wanted that and it's okay. You got
Really?
that. Like,
I'll do it on one. Shit,
if you
maybe
want it,
I'm
you
doing
want
something
it. It's
wrong.
okay. Like, stop beating yourself up for making the decisions you already made. You already made them.
Oh my god, that's perfect advice. Wow, okay. Thank you, Jamila.
Of
Okay,
course.
let me introduce our next segment.
Mhm.
This is actually my favorite segment. I
Okay,
always love
period.
this segment. This is Ask Dr. Durag and
Mm,
Friends, where we are asked a question from the audience,
okay,
and it's up to you and me to answer it. And I
period.
don't know, we talked about family a lot, so maybe this is a good question to
Okay.
segue into. And we also talked about protective factors and stuff like that. This question says, how do you reconcile with the contradictory fact that you love your family, but they are also the ones that harmed you, and greatly so? And you got to the point where you're now responsible for all the healing. That's a heavy one.
Man, and I wish we had a little bit more information about harms because that can mean so many different things.
Yeah,
Because I think there are some things where your family can harm you or cause you distress, but it's forgivable or at least move pastable.
yeah,
And there are some things where it's like, I'm not moving past that. And I don't think you should feel bad for not wanting to move past something. Like, I'm all for cutting a family member off if they had you fucked up in the worst way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but family is tricky. And there is this like societal pressure to never let your family go. I can tell you right now, there is a family member of mine who I don't acknowledge and I don't feel bad about it. I don't. I did for a while, but then I realized, why am I feeling bad and they don't? You know what I'm saying? I cut them off and they haven't even tried to reconcile for years, but they also don't give a damn about what brought us to this point in the first place. So why am I doing all the heavy lifting and having all this emotional outpours? Because you are the person that probably has the empathy. Like you have that empathy for them. And that's great. I'm glad you have that. You should always have empathy for people. But I can feel bad for somebody and I can want them to do better and I can do that and I can still not be a part of their life. And that's where it is. You have to figure out what that is for you. You have to figure out what's that glass ceiling for you. Like, is what they did to you something that you feel like you're able to move past? Or is it something that it's not? And if it's not, then don't. And be that with it. But if it's something that you're willing to move past, now this is the part where it gets a little tricky. I don't care what nobody says. You will never forget what happens to you or how someone treated you, even if they do all the things to amend it, even if they are completely changed and forever better and they never go backwards. You're never going to forget it. So you have to figure out a way to maneuver with those feelings, and you have to figure out a way to exist with a person and cohabitate with a person or just being friendly with the person while also having that in your mind because it's never going to leave you. So that's something that you have to work through. And I can tell you from experience, being on that side of things as well, that takes time. And it's something that you have to actively work on because you have to think to yourself, is this what's what's the outweigher? Like, I value my relationship with this person more than I care about the things that they've done to me. And if that's the case, then you have to keep that in the forefront. Like, I am going up this mountain to save my marriage.
Lord Jesus. I think that's a really amazing point. I have very particular ideas about forgiveness and
Mhm.
what forgiveness means, how we're pressured by society to forgive too quickly.
Yeah.
While I try my best to practice radical forgiveness, I believe that forgiveness is a tool that is very useful in connections. When there's rupture, you can repair, and that requires a certain degree of forgiveness. I do not believe that everything should be forgiven, and I don't think that every
Okay.
forgiveness is even required for you to heal and move on. It's like this Christian idea that you have to forgive everybody for the sake of
Mhm.
yourself. And I think what your definition of forgiveness is will probably influence how you feel about that. I believe more in the process of acceptance and
Yeah.
accepting things for what they are,
Yeah.
and that being a key component to being able to grieve it and let it go. You don't have to forgive someone for a harmful thing they did if it's like egregious if you don't want to.
Mhm.
I don't there are people who have done things that I just like I've accepted it for what it is. It is what it is. It, and I have hope for the future outside of that, but I don't look back to those connections or relationships and think I forgive. Like,
Mhm.
no, because what you did was wrong. It was like
Mhm.
egregious. But I say that to say that when you force yourself to come to a place of forgiveness way before you're ready, that can also be harmful and interrupt your grieving process. And I don't think a lot of people recognize or understand that forced forgiveness, like, intercepts your ability to acknowledge the harm that really happened because you are jumping to trying to shove it down before you even get to address it with a person. You have to, like,
Mhm.
actually deal with the reality of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Period.
that's the real tea.
Mhm.
Also, I can add this too. The contradictory nature of, like, loving somebody, but also, like, being upset that they hurt and harmed you. Those 2 things can exist at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a concept that I talk about a lot, like healing the hypocrite, like the inner and outer hypocrite, because we are people. People are inherently contradictory. We have a lot of different pieces of us that believe in one thing but act in another way. We have a lot of parts of us that feel one thing and feel another. Like, even if
Yeah.
those things are viewed typically as opposite of one another, I think it's so important to make peace with your inner and outer hypocrite. Like, you are going to have contradicting things happening in your life at the same
Mhm.
time. So,
Yeah.
to this person, I would say it's okay to be upset that you have to heal from the harm that was caused
Yeah.
to you. It's okay that you love your family.
Yeah.
It's your choice to move forward or to
Mhm.
not. And
Yeah.
all of those decisions and choices are ones that you should make in mind, keep in mind what has happened and how you feel
Yeah.
about it moving forward. But forgiveness is actually work too. People don't talk
Mhm.
about that. Like, it's
Yeah,
work.
and it's consistent, like, you have to consistently work towards it. It's not something that, especially if it's a deep issue, it's not something that you can just say, "Okay, I forgive you," and then you do, like it's a magic pill, like you just said it. Same with apologies, like, people can say they're sorry, "I apologize," but without actually putting in the groundwork to make that real and, like, set in, it's just you're just words. Like, you could say anything, like, "Okay, where's the work?"
I think of that like at the bank. Like, if you have gold in the bank, the gold is your actions and the word
Mhm,
are the currency. That's the paper money. If
mhm.
it's too much paper money, too much talking, and not enough like action behind it, your currency, aka your words, are useless
Mhm.
to me.
Yep.
And operate with that in mind. Wow. Okay, that was good. I feel like we really got to the
Period.
bottom of that one.
We ate
I
that.
hope that was helpful to you. I ain't gonna say you're using it because I don't want to put you out there like that. But moving on to our next segment, which is another one of my favorite segments, is What's Your Anthem? And this is the segment where I ask you, what is the soundtrack to your sanity? What is a song, a piece of media, preferably a song that you have heard, watched, or read, consumed, anything that you have used to help you maintain your mental health? And I want you to share with the people. We can't play it because it's copyright, but
Right.
yeah.
Can't get them infringements. I would say one of the songs that is so it just releases something in me. Like, I'm a firm believer of music and healing. I know there's like science that's behind it, but outside of the science, it's just a feeling. There's a spiritual connection with me and music. And so I listen to music every single day. It really helps me center myself. But a song that I feel like really helps me release emotionally, but also just kind of helps me feel like, oh my God, like I just is the song Free by Denise Williams. I could listen to it all day, every single day. It is just, it's something about the way that song is constructed. It honestly feels like just a release. But beyond that, I listen to just music in general. Like I just love music down. Another song that I listen to that just makes me feel happy, like, I just be like, and I'm instantly in a good mood, is "This Is For the Lover in You" by Shalimar. I Live. It just makes me feel so happy.
There is
And, of
we got
course,
a
anything
twofer,
by Michael Jackson.
a threefer. Okay, cute. You
Yeah.
love you some Michael Jackson, girl. That's the thing
Do.
about it.
Down.
Okay, mine for this week, and this is just a reminder for the audience. I do have a playlist on Spotify called "Songs They Heal To." I'm
Okay,
actually thinking about
period.
adding these songs onto the playlist just so y'all can listen and get a vibe from everybody who comes on here and like what has helped them. It might help
Yes. Oh,
you.
that's
You never know.
it. I like that.
Mine for today is gonna be Atlantic by Kelsey Lou, who's like she's an artist from North Carolina originally. She is so talented, but this song in particular, she talks about jumping into the Atlantic to just erase all the pain of it all. And I think sometimes it's just so important to refresh and renew and to surrender to the things happening to you. And I think that song does such a wonderful job of capturing what that could look like and what it feels like.
Yeah.
Just Kelsey Lou in general. I'm a fan.
Okay,
So, yeah,
period.
she's really
Imma
talented.
listen to it, Imma check it out.
Yeah. Um, hey, now our last segment, final segment, and this is one that I think is really important. It's called the toolkit. And this is where we share anything. Like it could be advice, it could be an app, which I usually share a lot of apps. It could be a book, it could be anything that you think is helpful to help other people maintain their mental health, to expand their toolkit. That's what we try to do
Mhm.
with this segment. And I can
Okay,
go
period.
first because I know I did not give you these segments in advance. So I know you're probably like, now what the hell? It could be a product,
Okay, period.
anything that helps you. But I can go
Okay.
first if you want,
Okay, yes, go ahead.
so you can like, okay.
I'm like, "Let me think, child."
So mine's this week, and I just started using this. A client suggested it to me like a month or two ago, and it is so good. It's called the Finch app,
Mhm,
Finch. And it's an app where you basically get like a little, you know, y'all obsessed with the Labubu's or whatever.
mhm.
It's like you get your own little digital like animal to take care of. And one of the ways that this animal grows and is developing is you doing things to practice self care. Like if you start your day with an affirmation, you get to check that off and it goes towards like this animal, nurturing this animal.
Okay.
And it's just like a cute way to, you know, practice like good habits. It has
That's cute.
habits around like sleep. If you struggle with sleep, the affirmations. I've been gratitude journaling a lot because of it. And I think gratitude journaling is really good. But the Finch app, Finch, is a beautiful app. I recommend that.
Okay, period. So I would say hobbies, I think we've gotten out of getting into our hobbies, like just in general as a community, like everything is for monetary gains. Get into those hobbies just for the thrill of it. I play the piano and it's just for fun. It's
I
it's
thought you would.
it's it is purely because I love music and I like to hear the piano. I'm not classically trained. I taught myself, so it's not anything that like I would ever take on the road anyway. I like to learn songs because I really like the song and I want to hear this song and play them piano and I want to play it and it makes me feel good. And it's not something that I ever care to monetize off of or do professionally. So that I knit and crochet. I never make anything. I just be doing lines and I throw it away. I just be done. Like, and I'll unravel that hoe. Like, oh, well, okay. But it's soothing and it's also good for your fingers, your whatever, and then your brain. So it's like, okay, that's a little brain exercise. So just little stuff like that. I've also been trying to do better with journaling, but it does help. I've been dealing with a lot of grief over the last couple of years. So that has been something I've been trying to navigate and figure out outlets for that because that is something that's super new for me. And I've been writing just things down, random thoughts, video ideas, concepts. The notes app sick of me. It's just full of things and I wear her out and I'm gonna keep wearing her out. Yeah, I don't know. Go like dance. Like how often do y'all put music on in the house? Not even when you just cleaning and you just dance. Like, me and karaoke go together real bad. And sometimes I'll literally feel like, oh, I have not karaokeed in a minute. Like I'm itching. And I get to karaoke and by myself, like not even recording. I'll be in my house doing karaoke by
Hold
myself
on,
and it's
hold
so
on.
fun.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I
Yeah.
think those are some really, really, really great, really solid pieces of advice. I think hobbies keep you creative and sharp. Journaling allows you to make these like abstract feelings and thoughts something more tangible, and it
Mhm.
narrows it in. If you cannot write, not that you can't write, but if you don't feel like writing, pull out your phone, turn that camera on, and speak.
And
Just
talk
let
video
it flow.
diaries, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jamila, thank you so much for coming today. I was so excited to have you on here because I think you're just like phenomenal. Um, can you tell the people where to find you? Can you tell the people what you got going on just as we close out?
Yes, of course. You guys can follow me on all platforms at underscore I am Jamila. If you want to check out our podcast, Unhinged and Moral, it airs every Thursday on anywhere you can get your podcast. If you want to watch visually, we are on YouTube as well. As far as what I have coming up, you'll just have to follow me to see. Can't speak on too many things too soon, but Just follow me. You will be pleasantly surprised at what you see on my page. If you're not familiar with me, I give you a little bit of everything.
Amen. Okay, and last reminder for the audience, if you wanna ask a question for the Ask Dr. Durag segment, leave it in the comments, you can DM me or you can shoot me an email. Either one, I will get your message and yeah, we will go from there. But thank you for joining me again. Thank you, Jamila. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Until next
Yes.
time,
You
over
take
and out.
care. Bye.